You set your alarm for 6 a.m., not for work, not for school, for a website, because today is the day. World Cup tickets, your shot. You've been waiting 4 years for this exact moment. You open the page, you find your game, you pick your seat, and then you see the price $380, nosebleed seats. The players look like ants, but it's the World Cup, so you swallow the pain and you click. 3 seconds later, it's gone. What follows is the story of the biggest ticket scandal football has ever seen. From a $60 ticket FIFA swore was real, to a $33,970 seat at the final, to a single listing that hit $2.3 million on FIFA's own website, not the black market, their website. And somewhere in the middle of all this, a FIFA president looks the entire world in the eye and offers you a hot dog. This is not satire. This is real, and you are the main character. Level 1. The Dream. You are 23 years old. The World Cup is finally coming home. North America, 48 teams, 104 matches, the biggest tournament in the history of the sport. You've been planning this for 2 years. You saved the money. You picked the game. You told your boss you need that week off and you will not be negotiating. This is it. The dream. You open FIFA's official site, find a group stage match, nothing fancy, and you pick the cheapest seat available. $380. That's the floor. The very bottom. A seat so high up you'll need binoculars to find the ball, and you'd pay it gladly because it's the World Cup. Now, here's a number to hold on to. At Qatar 2022, the cheapest group stage ticket was around $68. $68, then $380. Now, FIFA promised this tournament would be more accessible, more for the fans, and they weren't lying. It is different, just not the way you hoped. You stare at the screen for 4 seconds, then you buy it, because you're not made of stone. But that $380 ticket, that was the easy part. You just don't know it yet. Level 2. The lottery. First, you have to be allowed to buy. FIFA didn't just open a shop. They built a maze, ballots, registration windows, pre-sale draws, sales phases with names so confusing fans made spreadsheets just to track when they were permitted to spend their own money. You enter the ballot, you hand over your details, and then you wait. Days, then weeks. You refresh your inbox like it owes you money. Finally, the email arrives. Your heart jumps. You open it. You were not selected. That's it. No seat, no reason, no second chance, just a polite little sentence telling you the dream is on hold. So, you wait for the next phase, and the next. Each one a fresh lottery, a fresh chance to be told no. Meanwhile, you start hearing things, that the prices are climbing, that a new phase opened higher than the last, that somewhere out there, people are already paying double. You tell yourself you'll get in on general sale. Everyone can buy on general sale, right? Right. You and several million other people, all at once, on one website. You start to realize the dream was never the hard part. Getting permission to pay for it is. You have no idea what's about to happen to that website. Level 3, the crash general sale day. You're ready. Alarm set. Card on the desk. Wi-Fi tested twice the night before. You are a soldier, and this is your war. The clock hits 0. You hit refresh. You're in a queue. Position 412,000 something. You wait. You watch the little bar crawl. You don't blink in case blinking cost you a place. 40 minutes later, you're through. A ticket appears. You click it. You add it to your cart. A timer starts. 8 minutes to pay. You type your card number. You hit confirm. The site freezes. You reload. The page is white. You reload again. Something went wrong. You reload a third time and your card is empty. The ticket is gone. Somebody took it in the 3 seconds your screen locked up. This wasn't bad luck. This happened to thousands of fans over and over because the system buckled under the exact demand FIFA spent years bragging about. And while you sat there refreshing a broken page, somewhere a reseller cleared a whole row in a single click. Bots, bulk buys, practiced fingers. By the time you give up and close the tab, that reseller is already somewhere else, listing your dream, at triple the price. And the worst part, the place he's listing it is owned by FIFA. Level 4, the resale trap FIFA, has an official resale platform. Approved, legit, run by FIFA themselves. So you go there, telling yourself it's safe. The same ticket you lost, the one that was $380 2 days ago, is now listed at $1,100. You feel sick. You click anyway. Here's the part nobody puts on the homepage. FIFA takes a 30% cut of every single resale on that platform. Every flipped ticket, FIFA gets a slice. So do the math with me. A fan buys for $380. He relists for $1,100. FIFA pockets around $330 on the resale alone, on top of everything they already made the first time the ticket was sold. The same ticket, sold twice, profit twice. Now compare that to Qatar. In 2022, FIFA controlled resale prices and took a tiny cut, the greater of 5% or about 50 cents. They decided what a resold ticket could cost. This time, they removed the cap entirely in the US and Canada, then sat back and took 30% of whatever madness followed. The one exception was Mexico, where local consumer law forced FIFA to let fans resell only at face value. So, the same company that called Sky High Resale the market somehow managed to keep it fair the moment a government made them. And the madness followed fast. A Category 3 seat for the opening game at the Azteca in Mexico City, originally $895, showed up on FIFA's resale site at $5,324. Same seat, same game, 6 times the price, and FIFA's cut riding on top. The New Jersey Attorney General had a phrase for this whole machine. She called it a gauntlet of confusion, fake scarcity, and impossibly high prices. And she had no idea yet about the trap FIFA was about to spring on the fans who thought they'd already won. Level 5, the price that moves while you sleep. You decide to do it the honest way, straight from FIFA. No resellers, no markup, clean. You find a seat, you think about it overnight, like a responsible adult. You wake up, you open the site, the price has changed, it went up while you were sleeping. You didn't misread it. You didn't dream it. The number genuinely moved in the dark. This is dynamic pricing, and it's the first time FIFA has ever used it at a World Cup. Demand rises, the price rises automatically, with no warning and no ceiling. An investigation by The Athletic found prices climbed across more than 90 matches between October 2025 and April 2026. Games in Mexico and Canada jumped around 25% on average, and the top end is where it really shows. The most expensive category started at $6,730 when sales opened. By April, the exact same category cost $10,990, a jump of more than $4,000. Same seat, less than a year. FIFA defended it. They said it reflects market practice for major entertainment and sporting events. They compared the World Cup to concerts and NFL games. But a concert doesn't carry your flag. You don't grow up dreaming of a support act the way you dream of watching your country walk out at a World Cup. This isn't a festival you can catch next year. This is once in a generation, and they priced it like airline seats. And just when you think you understand the rules, FIFA changes them mid-game. Level 6, the ambush. Picture this. You've already bought. You fought through the queue, paid more than you wanted, and finally got a decent seat. You're proud of it. You did it. Then, in April 2026, with tickets long since sold and flights already booked, FIFA invents a brand new category out of thin air. They call it the front category. Front row, lower bowl. The best views in the building. It did not exist when you bought your ticket. It was never on the menu. FIFA created it halfway through and quietly slid it in above everyone who'd already paid. So, that great seat you were so proud of, somebody can now pay more and sit directly in front of you. And the price of these surprise front row seats for the final, over $30,000 each. Think about what that means. You can do everything right. follow every rule, pay every inflated price, and still get leapfrogged by a category that didn't exist yesterday. This was the moment the lawyers stopped watching and started moving. New York and New Jersey didn't write a strongly worded letter. They issued formal subpoenas. They demanded FIFA's internal documents. They want to know exactly how these categories were built, how the prices were set, and why fans were never told up front. FIFA's response to the press was one word long: no comment. But by now, FIFA had a much bigger problem than a few angry emails. They had a planet of furious fans, and they had to do something. Level 7. The $60 Mirage. The backlash got so loud so fast that FIFA did something they almost never do. They blinked. In December 2025, they announced a new tier, the Supporter Entry Tier. Fixed price, no dynamic pricing, no markup, $60 a ticket for every one of the 104 matches. Fans lost their minds, the good way this time, finally. A real door in, a way for normal people to actually be in the stadium. There was just one problem. The door was barely open. Football Supporters Europe did the math. They tracked how many $60 tickets actually existed and how fast they vanished. The answer was brutal. The cheap seats were nearly gone before general sale even opened, handed first to national federations, leaving almost nothing for an ordinary fan. FIFA offered a $60 ticket the way a restaurant advertises a free appetizer. Technically true, practically impossible to get. The press had a name for the whole climb down. They called it humiliating. And the numbers backed up the anger. Football Supporters Europe ran the cost of actually following your team through the tournament. In the cheapest seats, a fan was looking at well over £5,000 just for tickets, before a single flight or hotel. At Qatar 2022, that same journey cost under $1,500, roughly 3 times the price, for the privilege of watching the same sport. And the fan groups went further. They filed a formal complaint with the European Commission, accusing FIFA of bait advertising and of abusing its monopoly position. Their words: FIFA holds a monopoly over ticket sales and has used that power to impose conditions fans would never accept in a competitive market. Even President Trump, who was personally handed a final ticket by Infantino in the Oval Office, told the New York Post he wouldn't pay around $1,000 for nosebleed seats to the U.S. opener. When even Trump says your prices are too high, something has gone very wrong. But the most expensive seat in the building hadn't even shown its final number yet. Level 8. The final, July 19th. MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. The biggest single game on the planet. You want to be there. Everyone does. So you look up the best seat in the house. $33,970. That's not a typo. Almost $34,000 for one ticket, one game, one night under the lights. And FIFA didn't even arrive at that price. Honestly, in the weeks before kickoff, they quietly tripled the cost of the top final seats. No announcement. You just opened the site one morning, and the number had grown a digit. Hold that against the past. The single most expensive ticket at the entire 2022 World Cup was around $1,600. Now the best seat at one match costs more than 20 of them. And don't comfort yourself with the cheaper end, because there isn't a kind one. Even the lower tiers of the final run deep into the thousands. There is no, I'll just save a little more. There is no normal person's price. FIFA looked at all of this and called it demand, pure market demand, and maybe that would be the end of it. If fans hadn't taken those seats and done the one thing FIFA's own rules allowed, they relisted them, because there's no cap. In the US, it's perfectly legal to resell for whatever someone will pay, and FIFA still collects its 30% win or lose, sane price or insane one. So the question became simple and terrifying. With no ceiling at all, what is the most a single World Cup ticket can possibly cost? FIFA's own platform was about to answer. Level 9, the hot dog. First, one listing for the final hit, $230,000. Then the ceiling didn't just lift, it disappeared. 4 tickets for the final appeared on FIFA's official resale platform at $2.3 million. Each $2.3 million for a seat. Listed on the platform FIFA built, runs, and profits from. So journalists did what journalists do. They asked the FIFA president about it. Gianni Infantino did not flinch. He did not apologize. He did not promise a refund, a review, or even a strongly worded internal memo. He made a joke. If some people put tickets for the final on the resale market at $2 million, number one, it doesn't mean the tickets cost $2 million. And number two, it doesn't mean anyone will buy them. Fair enough, Johnny. Reasonable so far. Then he kept talking. If somebody buys a ticket for the final for $2 million, I will personally bring a hot dog and a Coke to make sure he has a great experience. A hot dog. That is what the most powerful man in football offered the fans being priced out of the sport they love. A hot dog and a Coke. This is the same man who at Davos shrugged and said, "We were hammered. I was hammered because the prices are so expensive." Then, in the same breath, bragged that ticket requests were highest from the US, then Germany, then England, because everyone wants to come anyway. Translation: yes, it hurts you. No, we will not stop. You'll pay because you love it too much to walk away. And he's not entirely wrong. That's the part that stings. But while he was joking in Beverly Hills, 2 attorneys general were quietly building a case. And they were not laughing. Level 10. The Reckoning. 2 weeks before the biggest tournament in football history, FIFA got subpoenaed. Not by a fan account, not by a blogger, by the attorneys general of New York and New Jersey, 2 of the most powerful legal offices in the United States. They demanded FIFA's internal documents, every email, every pricing decision, every spreadsheet showing how the categories were built, changed, and marketed to the people who trusted them. New York's Letitia James didn't soften it. New Yorkers have been waiting years for the World Cup to come to their backyard. No one should be manipulated into paying sky-high prices for seats. New Jersey went harder still, calling the whole thing a gauntlet of confusion, fake scarcity, and impossibly high prices. Fake scarcity. Sit with those 2 words. That's not a complaint. That's an accusation. It means investigators suspect the shortage you fought through may have been engineered to push the price up. And it isn't only America. Across the ocean, football supporters Europe, and the consumer group Euro Consumers filed their own complaint with the European Commission, accusing FIFA of abusing its monopoly and dangling $60 tickets it knew most fans would never reach. Here's the number that ties the whole thing together. FIFA expects to make around $13 billion from this tournament. $13 billion, and with all of it, they still couldn't give one ordinary fan a fair shot at one $380 seat. So, here you are, 4 years of waiting, a browser tab still open, a card still on the desk. The World Cup kicks off June 11th, and most of the people who love it most won't be in the building. The only guaranteed good seats belong to the people FIFA never had to impress. The rest of us can wait for our hot dog,